It's a moment that stopped hearts and changed history at the world-famous Daytona International Speedway. Now, a rescue worker who saved countless lives is in danger of losing his own.
I've covered races for 34 years, and I've never seen anything in person that has happened like this.
It's the final laps of an ARCA 200-mile shootout at the World Center of Racing. 730 horsepower stock cars rocket around the 2.5-mile asphalt track at speeds topping 180 miles an hour.
When you're going 180 miles per hour, I mean, that's a football field every second that you're traveling.
Veteran sports reporter Buddy Pittman excitedly calls the action on a rash of spectacular collisions.
10 cars are involved in this wild mishap.
As high speeds breed big trouble.
Veteran Ramo Stott finds trouble as he goes flipping down the backstretch.
Veteran track safety worker Mike Staley, positioned in turn 4, a part of the track eerily called Calamity Corner, has been rescuing drivers the entire race. But there's even bigger trouble ahead for Mike. With just 2 laps to go, all hell breaks loose. A driver loses control, going too fast into turn 4. He smacks the wall, triggering a 9-car pileup that litters the track with metal carnage. Mike Staley runs to the aid of driver Kevin Gundeker in the 58 car. And then, in a gut-wrenching second, the unthinkable.
Look out! Look out! Yes!
The driver of the 29 car, Bob Keselowski, plows into Kevin's machine, knocking the car into Mike. The 9.5 G's impact throws him 8 feet into the air and 25 feet across the infield.
A most tragic and horrifying mishap.
Keselowski's car continues to skid right over Mike.
It was just like a rag doll that you take and just fling through the air.
It's a chilling sight. Mike is motionless, pinned underneath 3,500 pounds of sheet metal.
You just can't see that happen to another individual, another human being, and not be affected by it.
A closer look reveals how this catastrophe unfolds. After the initial collision, race officials throw the caution flag.
When a caution flag comes out during a mishap or a wreck at the speedway, the safety car or the pace car has to come back on the track and get the field slowed down.
The drivers slow down to the mandated 45 miles an hour, so officials can alert rescuers it's safe to proceed. But the green car suddenly slows even more when it hits debris from the crash and blows 2 tires. The 29 car behind him jams his brakes, but the driver behind him is caught by surprise and rear ends number 29, setting off a terrifying chain reaction.
That car couldn't slow down fast enough, hit one of the cars that was moving slower, spun that car off the track.
That car, a nearly 2-ton, out-of-control projectile, hits the number 58 race car at 140 miles an hour. Mike was a sitting duck. And to make matters worse, he isn't wearing any protective clothing, just a simple plastic vest for visibility. As injured driver Kevin Gundeker stumbles from his race car, a track trauma team bursts onto the scene. Kevin will make it, but Mike's condition is grave. Accidents in the 49-year history of Daytona International Speedway. After an horrific crash takes out 9 cars, rescue worker Mike Staley rushes to help an injured driver stalled in the infield. The bone-crushing impact throws him 8 feet into the air. Now, Mike's jammed under the race car. He's not breathing, and his arm is entangled around a white-hot exhaust pipe. They lift the car with their own hands and carefully slide Mike out. then rush him to a chopper and airlift him to the closest hospital. Mike suffers third-degree burns over 12% of his body and head-to-toe fractures. He undergoes 24 hours of surgery, and friends and family worry he won't make it. But after 2 weeks in ICU, Mike's finally out of the woods.
I've seen people where they don't cry at funerals, and then I saw friends openly weeping. It scared me. I heard something roaring coming towards me, and as I looked up, I saw some black smoke in gray. And then there was an impact, a sound like I had never heard before, an explosion. The next thing that I remember after that is trying to open my eyes, and I couldn't open my eyes. I could hear the roar of an engine and this banging sound close to my head.
Mike was twisted and trapped under the racer's 730 horsepower engine. After running the 500-mile race, the car's exhaust pipe was over 300 degrees.
The next thing that I remember is feeling like I'm on fire. I can't breathe. And there's a race car obviously trying to get back onto the track, not knowing I'm underneath the vehicle.
When Mike's accident happened, it was probably the most public and the most obvious accident or incident involving a safety worker that happened at a speedway.
Fire Battalion Chief John Oates and other emergency response experts immediately go to work piecing together Mike's horrible accident.
Firefighter in me started taking it apart, going, how did it happen? Why did it happen? Are there things that could have been done to prevent that from happening?
They quickly determine the three primary causes of the accident: the crash debris that triggers the collision, no radio system to alert Mike the track isn't safe, and lastly, no protective gear.
Mike's accident, he was dressed like a normal EMT coming out of an ambulance because that's what they did at that point in time. Today, you'll see track safety workers wearing fire-resistant garments, wearing special footwear, wearing gloves, wearing helmets to protect the head from injury. When you compare this to the polyester or cotton uniform that Mike was wearing when he had his incident, it's 100 times more protection.
After Mike's accident, John Oates helped form a safety advisory group mandating sweeping changes for track safety workers, including two-way radios to inform rescuers when the area is safe.
It allows you to hear critical messages from the other safety workers.
What saved Mike came down to two critical moments. First, the stalled car cushioned the blow. Had this car hit Mike head-on at 140 miles an hour, the impact would have been deadly. And ironically, the second thing that saved him was not having a radio. With no radio communication, Mike has to look up to hand signal other rescuers that driver Kevin Gundiker is injured and needs help. Had he been looking inside the car, the 140-mile-an-hour blow would have killed him.
It wasn't my time to die. I'm alive because it wasn't my time to die.
Mike believes the main reason he's still alive is his fellow rescuers.
If that accident would have happened on any street corner in America, I would have died. I'm lucky to be alive.